Hey folks, welcome back to my neck of the woods. My name's Dika, where I share my experience and my knowledge, hoping to lessen your learning curve. So today I'm going to talk about a bunch of items or gear that I bring with me when I go out surf casting. These are things that I bring with me religiously. If I forget one of these items, I'm walking back to the truck to get it because I feel lost without them for the most part. Do I need them necessarily? I don't necessarily need all of them. But it's almost like a superstition. I bring them with me, and I'm in the process of building a surf cart for spring and summer when I get out on the beach again. That way I have just a sort of a sack or whatever and have everything with me, everything that I need, all right? Before I get started, please sub my channel, like my videos, and make some comments. So these are things that I necessarily can't live without when I'm out surf casting. And I wish there were more YouTube videos out there when I first started and telling me all these things that I need to bring. Now, you don't need to bring them, but I think that they genuinely make your life just a little bit easier. All right, so the first one is something to cut braid. Everyone is using braid, except for your leader for the most part, and those boomerang snips, that's what I've used in the past. To get to braid, you just like snip, 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 snip. And a lot of things are like that. You bring regular scissors and you're snipping through braids. I did buy one thing from Gerber, and it was made to cut braid, and it worked for a little bit, but it just stopped working after, I don't know, maybe 10 or 30 cuts, and then it was just kind of like shredding the braid. And then I've come across one, and it's made by a company called Cuda. They make fishing tools, and it's a 3-inch scissor. So they're cutting shears, I guess you could say, and it has these big blue finger holes, so to speak, and it's only 3 inches long, very easy to lose, but I put them on like a little lanyard in a pocket or something like that, and they cut braid nonstop, clean cuts, and it just makes your life easier if you have something to cut braid while you're on the beach, especially in the dark. There are a couple sort of pliers out there that have like 2 razors that come together and they cut braid. But I find with those, at first you're just amazed at how well they cut braid, and then not so much anymore. Then they just fail. But these scissors, 3-inch scissors from Cuda, they're really good. So if you want to check them out, or you just need something to cut braid, that's just what I use. And that's what this video is about. I'm going to tell you the things that I bring and what I use, and hopefully that's helpful to you. And like all my videos out there, they're just to help people. They're just to help people move past the mistakes that I've already made. 99% of my videos are like that, even my product reviews. All right? So next we have everyone brings their phone with them to take pictures or check the time or out scrolling Facebook or whatever you're doing out there instead of fishing. You need a phone lanyard. You don't necessarily need a waterproof case. If you have a lanyard, then it's strapped to you, unless you're going swimming, which happens sometimes when you're getting those fish, releasing those fish. But for the most part, you need a lanyard. And you need a lanyard and then a waterproof case on top of that. Pelican makes a pretty good waterproof case for any phone, and you can still hear on it. You can still take pictures, and you can still operate it a little bit, as opposed to a lot of the other ones, like the iPhone makes one that it's called a life jacket or life proof or something like that, and you can't hear on it anymore, and it's very difficult to text. But I found that Pelican makes a good waterproof case. And as far as a lanyard, I use one by a company called Rogue, and it just has a carabiner where you can clip it on like a belt loop, and then it has these rubber stretchy pieces that fit over the corners of the phone, and it holds it very well. There's many times where I go and take a picture of a fish and it slips out of my hand, but it doesn't make it to the drink because I've got it on a lanyard. I think having because a waterproof case, you could drop it and then the phone's gone. The lanyard, I think, is the most important piece of equipment if you're going to bring your phone out fishing. And most of us do. We're always out taking pictures and doing whatnot with it. Third, I think this is the third one, I got a list in front of me here, is something for your feet. Waterproof or water shoes. I use, I preferably would like something with a hard bottom on it, because there's many things that we come across in the beach, and mostly it's like shells. Like split oyster shells or clam shells or something like that. That'll slice the bottom of your foot in a second. I've done it. That's why. So I have ones that are Crocs, and they're not the normal Crocs you just slide your feet into. They're more of a sandal, and they sort of Velcro on top. And I only use them for surf fishing. During the summer, they don't even leave my truck. They stay in my truck the whole time, and then I get out surf fishing as much as I possibly can. And I just put them on, and I walk on the beach there. No problems with that. And they've got a hard plastic bottom, so even if you do step on a piece of glass or something sharp, it's not going to penetrate, and you're not going to have a problem and keep you out there fishing. All right, so the next one is some sort of pliers. Now, I have used lots of pliers for striped bass, and I find that the pistol grip ones are better. The pistol grip, and then has a long nose to it, and then you can, if the fish not necessarily swallows it, but it's back further, and on those bigger fish, you can't get your hand in there, and you can't get your pliers in there, and a lot of times you end up cutting the hook, and that's problematic for the fish. Ultimately, you want to try to get that hook out of there. But the pistol grip ones, you can really get down in there, and you can get I mean, Cuda makes them. I use ones that are made by Daiwa. They're big and beefy, and they're probably a little too heavy, but they're really corrosion resistant, and there's a bunch of companies that make them. I use one by Daiwa. I really like the one that Cuda makes. If the Daiwa ones ever fail on me, or I lose them or something, I might try the Cuda ones. But a pistol grip pliers for striped bass, especially for bluefish too, with the teeth, you know, they'll bite the heck out of you. But pistol grip, I think those are just good pliers. And then that leads me into the next part of it, and that's a fish grip. Now, there are a lot of people that fish and they use those boga grips, the big ones. I've tried the knockoff ones. The knockoff ones might last a year, maybe a little longer, but you got to take them apart and just get all the sand and the corrosion and the salt out of them. And they tend not to work as good as the years go by. And ultimately, we want something that's just going to continue to work, so we don't have to buy something new. I do find that those boga grips, just being exposed to the salt and everything like that, they do, I'm not going to say that they fail, because they're easily taken apart and they're easily cleaned, but they do involve some maintenance to keep them working properly. Since then, and they're really expensive too. They're upwards of $100+ for a really nice boga grip. I found just the Rapala, the plastic grips, the ones it's under pressure. Once you do it, you kind of clamp it, and then it holds tight to the lips. I find that it doesn't let go. And I actually have the small ones. They're really small. I think they're 5-inch, and they work absolutely perfect. Everything that I need, and it has a lanyard on it. So you put the lanyard around your wrist and you clamp it, and then if you do happen to slip, you still got that fish on there. And it's really good for when you got to bring the fish back, and you're letting it retrieve, you're letting it go back into the water and revive itself, you know. And you just hold it with that, and then you let it go, and you move the fish back and forth, and they float too. They float, and they're I haven't lost them yet, and the salt isn't going to bother them at all. So these are the, I don't know how many things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it's 5, 6 things that I have, 5 or 6 things that I have that I really can't go without when I'm out there surf casting. There is a bonus one that I have for you, and this doesn't apply to all, and that's fresh water. Now, I would think that anyone's going to bring water and food, depending on how long you're out there. I think that's a given. I don't think I need to remind people to bring food and water when you're out there, especially hot sun. I'm not going to go through sunglasses and sunscreen and stuff like that. But having some fresh water with you, for those of you out there that don't have a sealed reel, if you drop that in the sand and you feel that sand maybe get into the gears or into the line or even into the salt water, having a good bottle of a good bottle of fresh water that you're not going to drink, or if you drink at the end of your day or whatever, and you just clean your reel off, I think it can help. It can help a lot. I think, you know, especially, you know, you drop it in the sand and you don't have a sealed reel, or you dunk it or something like that. Just taking some fresh water to it can help the longevity of that reel. And ultimately, you know, we all spend our hard-earned money, and we want our products and our tools and our fishing rods, and we want everything to last. All right? That's really all I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful to you. Like I said, I wish there was something like this when I first started. This is a list that I've sort of compiled over the years. All right? Be well, sub the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later. Be well.